What's going on, friends? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Layne and I'm a doctorally prepared family nurse practitioner. And on this channel, I share all of my lessons learned about my nurse practitioner journey, and hopefully this stuff can help you guys too. And in this video, I am going to be speaking about a huge review course resource to me as I was studying for my board exams, and that is Sarah Michelle NP Reviews. And if you're someone who's out there trying to figure out what review course you should take, if you want to take a review course, I hope this video helps you to figure out if this review course might be the right thing for you. All right, let's get started. So I know a major question when I was in my last semester that all of my classmates, we would ask each other is, when are you taking boards and what review course are you taking as well? And if you're like me, I didn't want to just pick a random course, and I didn't want to just pick the course because my professors were telling me to take a course. I wanted something that was up to date, fresh, not something not just pick something just because it's what everyone has been using for the last, I don't know, however many years. So I wanted to do my own research, and I went on different Facebook groups for nurse practitioner students, and I saw that a lot of people were talking about Sarah Michelle NP reviews. And so I was curious. So I went on their website and I instantly fell in love with not only their aesthetic, but also it seemed like they had a real emphasis on positivity, encouragement, your mental health as you're going through board exams, and just making things simple without the fluff. And so I ended up using the Sarah Michelle Comprehensive Review Bundle, and I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. And it included a crash course, an in-depth diagnosis bundle, and a pharmacological review course. And I actually used all three of them. They also each came with their own study guide that you could use through Canva, or you could download as a PDF and print it off. I ended up just using Canva to be able to type notes as I was going. And what I really loved is that they had videos for each system. Even sometimes it would be like 3 or 4 videos per system, but they kept the videos pretty short, and they were very, very straightforward. Every time I would finish a video, I'd be like, wow, so that's all I need to know? Like, for the exam, it was like, I almost couldn't believe, I was like, and I actually remembered the information. That's how well they were able to teach and just clearly communicate and have great mnemonics. And I think for me, what worked for me, if you're someone who has the Sarah Michelle review already, is I would go through the crash course, watch the videos. There'd be a few practice questions at the end of each system. Then I would take some notes in the study guide, just trying to see if I actually remembered what I had just learned. And then I would go to the in-depth diagnosis, do some practice questions, do a couple notes in the study guide, and then the same thing for the pharmacological review. And what I found is with the study guide, I didn't fill in word for word, anything like that. Mostly I would type in things during the crash course, and then I would notice that certain things would be repeated in the in-depth review and in the pharmacological review. But I would type in any new information that I was learning. So that worked for me. It is a long study guide, but I only typed in what I needed to know, and they really do keep it without the fluff, and it's very straightforward. So also something that I wasn't expecting is that it's actually a team of educators who are working with Sarah Michelle. So I think it was about 5 different nurse practitioners who teach different sections. So I didn't realize that. I thought it would just be Sarah Michelle, but I actually enjoyed each of their different, all of the teaching styles were similar, but each of them had their own voice and everything as they were teaching, and I really appreciated that. Something else I also liked was that their graphics were very straightforward. It was exactly what you needed to know. I didn't feel like it was too many graphics at the same time. It was a lot of question-based teaching. So they would ask a question like, do you know the answer to this? And then there's a second there where your brain can process, critically think, and answer it if you know it or not. And that style really worked for me because it kept me engaged, and it also was essentially quizzing you as you're doing the review to see what your knowledge is. I also loved the heavy emphasis on mental health. Like I said before, I could tell that from the website, but when I actually went into the review course, I saw that tenfold. Sarah Michelle, she has a whole anxiety plan. She has videos that encourage you on the day of testing. And I really liked that. For me, every time I would finish one of her videos, I never felt stressed. which was major. Because I think, I mean, all of us from NP school, one time or another, there's been lectures that like you leave that lecture and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Like this, this is so much. But like every time I finish a Sarah Michelle video, I never felt discouraged. I'm not saying I knew all the information just after one time watching, but I felt like, okay, that's manageable. Like I know a lot of that from school, but like the stuff I don't know, I think it's manageable to learn and review. And that meant so much to me that I never, not once felt overwhelmed watching one of her courses. In terms of price, I do think that Sarah Michelle is definitely worth the price point. It is a monthly subscription fee, so this might not be for someone who wants 6 months access, because the price can definitely start to stack up very quickly on a monthly subscription basis. But if you're someone who is thinking they're going to take their exam and kind of study within 4 to 6 weeks, I think it's very reasonable. I was able to get through the comprehensive bundle very well within the 4 weeks, and that was also when I had school stuff going on. If I didn't, I definitely would have had plenty of time. For the question bank, I think that 4 weeks for that is also very reasonable. It was about $40, which I think is great for getting 1,000 questions. And then you're also getting 5 full-length practice exams. I didn't take any of the adult GERO ones that they have, but I think you could have. It probably just doesn't have any of the PED stuff in it, which I still think is a great practice for anyone who's a family nurse practitioner as well. So all that to say, I think it's a great price point. The comprehensive bundle has a 90% pass rate. It's not guaranteed, but that's generally what the pass rate is. And I totally see that being feasible and why it is the way it is, because it is a really great bundle. And then I believe for their live review that they have, it's a kind of a live study group where I think they meet every couple of weeks virtually, where you can ask questions on top of the bundle, on top of practice questions. I believe that is a one-time fee of about $729, and one of my friends is actually taking the course right now and she's loving it as well. So I think, I mean, it just depends on what your budget is. And I know they also, if you don't want to do the comprehensive bundle, I know they have the crash course, pharmacology, and diagnosis courses individually that you can buy as well. Though I found that all 3 of them together was really the best value. Yeah, so I totally would recommend Sarah Michelle. That is what I'm gonna be preaching to people because I really liked her, and you guys can see what other study techniques I used in my other videos, but I thought that the Sarah Michelle NP review was a very, very solid review course. And like I said, just finishing the review course and finishing the videos each day and not feeling absolutely stressed and feeling, down on myself, that meant a lot to me. And I think it's really worth it, especially with the tips about managing your test anxiety and things like that. And I will just plug Sarah Michelle too, that she also has a podcast called, I believe it's Becoming a Stress-Free Nurse Practitioner. And that is actually, I didn't realize that was like who the Sarah Michelle review course person was. I had actually been listening to her podcast like years ago and actually fell in love with her that way. So if you're someone who's still not really sure if you want to buy the course, you can always listen to her podcast. I know it's at least on Spotify, which is what I use. And so if you're not sure like what her vibe kind of is, you can listen to her there, and she's pretty much, she's the same person, same vibes, and she gives also really great advice on that podcast as well. So I hope this video helped you guys, and I want to thank the Sarah Michelle team for partnering with me to make this video. I really appreciated all of their support throughout this process and allowing me to trial their comprehensive bundle. All right, guys, if you have any questions or concerns, definitely comment below, give this video a like, and make sure to subscribe and send this to all of your friends who are studying for their board exams. All right, I will see you in the next video. Peace.